What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Guys, today's video, we're gonna be talking about some spring colors that you need to have in your tackle box to have a lot more success on the water. Now, of course, leave a like on the video if you enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel if you like what we're doing and enjoy the content overall. And definitely comment down below which one of these lures is your favorite. We got some new stuff in, so I'm gonna talk about that as well. But guys, let's hop into the reason fish eat things like this, or this, or this. Why do they eat them, guys? Well, from a biology standpoint, and I guess the main reason, guys, the fish don't see the color spectrum like we do. They don't see the blues, they don't see reds, greens. Specifically, they see light dispersal patterns. Now, when it comes to these lures, there's one thing that really all stands out on them. They're very bright to us, and it's the same thing with the fish. When they see something bright that reflects a lot of light, to them it just kind of stands out like a glowing light bulb in the water, and they want to go check it out. Of course, we've talked about in previous videos, bass are very curious creatures. They want to make sure that something in their area isn't going to hurt that area or attack them, so they're very curious. They want to go check it out, and a lot of the time in the spring, you're also seeing bedding fish. Those fish are very, very territorial of anything that gets in their little zone, like bluegill, crawfish, crappie, anything like that. They're gonna run them out very, very quickly. And something like this, entering those zones, they can see it from a long way away and they just get interested. Now, biologically, that is probably going to be the most accurate answer you can get. The fish just see it better. Now, of course, these colors might work a little bit better in certain times of the year, like the springtime, than your green pumpkins, your watermelons, or your black and blues, which don't reflect a lot of light. Now, I think one of the connections that I made to this a while ago was the glitter content in a lure, especially in the springtime. Having a lot of glitter, allowing that glitter to reflect and refract that light allows the fish to see it a lot better as well. So I find that jigs that have either tinsel in it or in the skirt built in that has a lot of glitter in it, those seem to work really, really well. Now, as you start to get into the later spring, especially when those bluegill are up really, really shallow, or there's a shad spawn, anything in a bluegill color or a straight white color works really well. But right now, guys, pre-spawn, these are going to play your chartreuses, your bubble gums, your menthiolates. All these colors here reflect light extremely well. We're gonna talk about rigging on these baits and some other ones as well in this video, so keep going with me, guys. One of my favorite ways to throw these trick worms here, and these are floating worms by Z-Man. It doesn't have to be a Z-Man one. I just like these because they do float a little bit. I can put a little bit heavier gauge hook on these if I want, and they still sit very, very steady in the water. Now, you want to make sure you store these either straight up and down or perfectly flat to where you don't get these little creases in here. So what you can do is get a little boiling water, straighten them out very, very easily, or just kind of pull them because they are Elastec and get them as straight as you possibly can. Now, when I'm rigging this, an offset worm hook is going to be my #1 choice. I am barely going to go past maybe half an inch, quarter of an inch down from the head, rig it straight down Texas rig, and with that offset worm hook, it's not as deep as the EWG hook. So it's not gonna get stuck on trees, grass, docks, anything like that, anything poking out. You wanna make sure your hook point is buried into this worm. And overall, guys, all you have to do, go find a bank, go find a spawning flood area that has some grass or some cover on it, throw this out there, and just give it like 2 or 3 cranks of the reel. Let it sit, give it 2 or 3 cranks, and this thing is going to swim on top of the water and imitate a bluegill or something like that going into an area. And when you throw this into dirty water, you can really tell why it is so effective, because it really just shines. It shows up in that dirty stained water. So if you are fishing in the back of a creek, you find that warmer water back there, this can be a very, very effective technique. Now, some of my favorite hooks for these are gonna be the spear point offset worm hook, a Gamakatsu or owner worm hook as well, all very sharp. If I do want it to float more, I'm probably gonna go with the spear point or a Gami. If I want it to sink a little bit more, I might go to a Hayabusa or an owner hook. So these guys right here, very, very effective, guys. Check it out one more time. This is going to be the finesse worm, or the floating worms, menthiolate. We also have bubblegum, and we have the chartreuse. Now, one of the biggest colors overall that have taken springtime by storm, guys. Everyone's talking about this, right? The fire craw color. This is the Chatterbait Elite EVO, brand new to this year. We've been selling a ton of these in your standard shad colors from whenever they released at ICAST until we got them. Right now, this fire craw color is flying off the shelf. What I love about the new Elite EVO is that the blades are painted and have glitter on them. So in terms of being able to be seen by the fish, it is extremely bright. It is putting off light in all different directions thanks to the glitter. And of course, this bait right here is very similar to the jackhammer, which standards have shown that I would say 60 to 70% of people will buy a jackhammer over all the competitors, whether it's a slobber knocker or a thunder cricket. Now, depending where you're at in the country, depending if you have a lot of grass or little grass, you may or may not need the jackhammer and you like the thump on a thunder cricket just because more people are throwing the jackhammer and you need something a little bit different, right? That's totally fine. But with these colors here, from the Elite EVO and the blade pattern and overall just the skirt material, the hook, the new design of this is very, very efficient. I like it a little bit more than the jackhammer when it comes to keeping a trailer on. And you also have to do my guy Kirk Armstrong a favor. He's just released a couple fire craw chatterbaits on the website. You can go check those out. I'm gonna link them down in there. We've got 3 different colors. It's gonna be a straight fire craw back black, and then fire craw green pumpkin black back that you can check out as well. And he did a couple different blade patterns on those, so definitely check those out, as well as this Elite EVO. Now, the Elite EVO, back to that, it's a chatterbait, guys. It's going to come through the weeds and cover a whole lot easier. You can burn down bank line with a 1/2 ounce or a 3/8. Typically, I like a swim bait trailer on these, but sometimes, especially now when I want very diverse hunting action, I like to go to a little split tail, like spinnerbait trailer, something like that. I might even put a fluke on the back that allows it to really just dart, get in, and have a farther range than just coming straight forward through the grass or whatever I'm fishing, whether it's a stump field or something like that. I hope you like my hat, guys. This is a Bahio catfish hat. We also got one, and you're gonna see these actually. The next video is going to be a tournament video out at Bob Sandlin, practice video, maybe combined with the tournament video, we'll see. But this guy right here, chatterbaits, going to be probably my top pick for burning through different waters. Next up, of course, here in North Texas, we have a ton of rock. I fish Louisville a lot. Ray Roberts has a lot of rock. All the Metroplex lakes, guys, they have a lot of rock in them. And one of the most effective ways that I've found to break down this rock is with something that I just dropped. Is gonna be something like this. This is the Chick Magnet from Strike King. This is by far one of my favorite flat side crankbaits other than the Jackal Bling 55. Now, the main difference between those two baits is this one is going to be almost silent. It has some dull rattles. It is very, very silent. And it's got some decent hardware. I like to upgrade the hooks to a little bit thinner gauge hooks, but this bait right here, pre-spawn, has caught me so many big fish. It is consistently putting 3 and 4 pounders in the boat for me, as well as from the bank. All these lures here, you can do the same exact thing on a stream, a pond, a lake. It doesn't really matter at all. But this Chick Magnet here, it's a flat side crankbait with a round circuit board lip. That's important. It allows this bait to hunt very similar to something like the chatterbait. If you want to work the crankbait slower, this Chick Magnet, you can. It comes in a tiny size as well, which is really, really effective. And of course, it has this fire craw pattern. Now, for all the reasons we talked about before, it's just bright. It can imitate a lot of things. The fish see it a lot better. And overall, this flat side crankbait, it hunts, it swims good. It does require a little bit of tuning here and there, but all you gotta do is take some pliers, just kind of tilt those, tilt the rings in just a little bit and you'll be all set. Typically on the Chick Magnet, I've gotta run either 12 or 10 pound fluorocarbon. Typically Seagar and Vizex or Brazex, kind of just depends what I have on that reel. Some foot 4 medium rod is typically what I'm gonna be throwing that one with. It doesn't cast the best, it's not as heavy, but it gets the job done and is very, very effective. Now, one of the biggest baits out there for grass fishermen, whether you're on Sam Rayburn, whether you're at Ray Roberts, it doesn't matter. If you've got grass, Chickamauga, you're gonna be throwing a lipless crankbait. One of the most infamous baits is going to be the Strike King Red Eye Shad, your Bill Lewis, and they make some great craw colors. Now, of course, the brighter the better. So this one here is Fire Craw. And you know, there's Delta Red out there, Chili Craw. They have more black in them. This one is going to be almost straight Fire Craw, like menthiolate color, very, very bright. This one here, I love the rattles in the Red Eye Shad. They're very, very loud, causes lots of commotion and attention, and draws those fish in to go check this bait out. So overall, guys, the Strike King Red Eye Shad, 1/2 ounce, throw it on a little bit heavier rod, 7'2" to 7'4", medium heavy is what I like. Not so fast, but a moderate fast tip on it, just so that fish, when they go up and typically eat it very, very fast, when they suck that bait in, your rod can load just a little bit, allow that bait to get into the fish's mouth, and you can get a good hook set into them. Now, always change your hooks on these, whether it's a Red Eye Shad, whether it's a Bill Lewis, whether it's a literally any other lipless crankbait, guys. I have to change the hooks on these. Typically, these hooks here, you have to have a pretty beefy rod to get the hook in that fish. ST36s or ST46s, whatever they are gonna be great. BKK numbers or size 6s are awesome. I also love the, even the Berkeley Fusion EWG short shanks are really, really good as well for a better hookup ratio and better land ratio. So again, Fire Craw is probably the way. Now, there's also a couple other lures I want to talk about that really just stand out, whether it is a jerkbait like this guy right here. This is the Elegee bone pattern, and I'll take it out of the package for y'all. This one here is a very clear bait. It has a skeleton body running down, and it has a chartreuse bottom right here. So it stands out really, really well. I like bed fishing with this bait here specifically when it comes to the springtime beds. Whatever it is about this bait in clearer water, so these here really excel in the dirtier water. You're 1.5 to 2 foot, not even that. I mean, like from 0.5 to around 2 foot of visibility, these work great. If you get any clearer than that, around the 2.5 to 2.5 plus range, this Elegee bone color in the springtime is really, really effective. It draws in fish with the chartreuse belly, and it has that clear side to where when they see it, it's really, when they get close to it, it's really just a silhouette to them. So the Elegee bone color from Megabass, I believe 6 Sense makes kind of a knockoff color of this, but overall, guys, a jerkbait is by far one of the most effective techniques in the springtime. You're seeing it on the tours, the Bassmasters, on the MLF, all those circuits, guys. People are throwing a jerkbait, a jig head minnow, and are being very, very efficient and effective with them. So again, this color right here, anything kind of bright like this one is gonna be great. Now, we did just get a restock of some DRT Tiny Clashes in. We got Queen, which is going to fit in very well with our springtime bite. It's, I mean, it's like straight white, chartreuse, and a little bit of purple on it. And laser specks right here, this thing is really cool. I'll post some pictures as well. I got some really neat pictures I posted on the Instagram and Facebook, which you should check out. And then, of course, Sexy Shad. We've been selling a couple of these in store already, so if you haven't been keeping up with the social media, guys, go check that out. So these DRT Tiny Clashes work very similar to like a jerkbait. You can slow swim them, you can dart them left to right, but these guys right here are very, very effective. So definitely check those out. I hope you enjoyed this video here. If you did, leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below which one out of these baits here is your favorite, and I will catch you next time, hopefully the tournament video. Hopefully they win AOY. We're only like 1.5 points behind, which is like 1.5 pounds the way they do their AOY ranking. So the next video, guys, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you. Thanks for watching, guys.